All right, welcome to the Inside Runner Sports UTSA football December signing period recap. That's Jerry Briggs. I'm JJ Perez. Roadrunners announced a even dozen signings today, Jerry. Obviously, the big news was the last one, a junior college quarterback, former LSU quarterback, former four-star out of high school, Lowell Narcisse.
Northeast.
Yeah, pretty big news there, Jerry, to kind of end the day for the Roadrunners.
Well, it means we'll have 5 scholarship quarterbacks in spring camp, I guess, and plus Leanne Beard, I guess, is in the mix as a walk-on. So we'll have 6 guys out there to start spring, and once again we'll be asking that question as the spring moves along. But that's where we are.
As the battle of the Roadrunner quarterback continues. Kind of eclectic mix of recruits here, Jerry, mostly on the offensive side. And Coach Wilson kind of tiptoed around it, but that's where the numbers pointed to. UTSA struggled offensively in 2018, so they brought in more talent. The 2 running backs jump off the page for me. Both guys super talented, speedy, athletic. I know you were out at Judson this morning. Just want to talk a little bit about what Sincere had to say.
Sincere was he was very pumped up to be at the point in his career where he's got like 2 days left of high school, so he's super excited to close that door. One thing that really stood out in my conversation with Sincere was that he told me that he wanted to. The first thing he said was he wanted to thank all of his teammates on the Judson Rockets, and that he loved them all. And that really stood out to me. That was the first thing he said.
Wow.
I mean, that maybe sort of underscores kind of what kind of player he is. That he looked to me like he was a guy that always was kind of playing for his teammates out there. He was super. Every time I went to see them play this year, JJ, he was in the end zone 2 or 3 times before halftime, and then he'd be on the bench because Judson would
the
be
game was
ahead
over.
They were ahead by 30 or 40 points, and he'd be out. But he's a terrific talent. Staying
at Judson, the 24/7 ranking, the highest rated recruit that UTSA signed in this class is Rashad Wisdom, the safety. I know you talked to him this morning. What did he have to say?
Rashad was very introspective. He was also talking about his reasons for coming here. His I take it that his family was probably the main reason that he decided to shut down at recruiting last night and come here, because I think it's evident that he's very close with his family, and it's obviously going to be much easier for them to come watch him play here than it would have been had he gone somewhere else. But I just think he's another quality kid. He wants to study the computer, computer technology. He's a smart kid, and so there's going to be 2 outstanding players, I think, from Judson here over the next 4 years.
Yeah, Coach Wilson just said today that both of those guys they wanted to wait until February, but they both ended up deciding to sign. Rashad late last night decided, we had a phone call conversation about that. Just a few other guys on the list I want to highlight. We don't know a lot about this Australian punter, but he was the first guy to get his letter of intent in, kind of Australian Central Time, I guess. I had to look that up, but
I saw that last night. It just came out. It's like that's the Australian signing period. The Australian early signing period.
Yeah. So historically, those guys do well in Division I football. The Pro Kick Australia, they put out some good talent. There's not a lot of stats or film, but just a few other guys. JUCO offensive lineman seems on par with some of the JUCO offensive linemen they signed last signing period. So they really bulk up that offense, Jerry, a little bit in this early signing period. But kind of the question, the monkey in the room, is what's going on with offensive coordinator Al Borges? What's going on? Who's gonna call the plays? The final game of the season, we saw wide receivers coach and passing coordinator Jeff Castle call the plays. There was a report that Al Borges was fired from UTSA. Coach Wilson said that is not accurate. Al Borg is still on staff, but in a capacity not as offensive coordinator. He told us he'd give us some more clarification as soon as later this week. Jerry, what's your reaction to all that?
Well, it's I felt like something had to give in that respect. When the offense struggled like it did all of last year, you figured just something like that would happen. I'm sort of disappointed that Al didn't get another chance to come back and show what kind of coordinator he could be with a more experienced group. I do think Al. I mean, Al's going to coach again. He's going to be somewhere. But like I say, whoever's if it's Coach Castle, I'm sure Jeff will do a fine job. But it all depends on these players and them getting the experience. There were a number of those kids that got good experience last year, and so they should be. I expect them to be. I don't know how much better they'll be. I guess it all depends on who winds up with the ball in his hands on opening day next fall. Whether it's Frank Harris or that's going to be a major step for the program. Who gets the ball in the next game?
Put you on the spot right here, right now, Jerry. Who do you think's starting quarterback next fall for the Roadrunners?
Frank Harris.
Frank Harris, yeah, I think so. Barring injury, obviously, he's had some tough injuries these last few years, but coach says he's 100% clear, and this is really his spring to grab the reins. I wouldn't close the door on Jordan Weeks. He kind of got thrown into the fire this last season, so all that's going to help these young quarterbacks. The Roadrunners head into the offseason with still some work to do. This 12-member class is about half of the entire class. The Roadrunners have 23 spots, Coach mentioned. So there's a bunch of JUCO offers out, Jerry. We could see, a few other guys come in, between now and next fall that could have an impact on it. So it's just right now more questions than answers, especially regarding that offense.
Linebacker is an issue. I guess that's something.
That's the other elephant in the room.
They'll need to address that before the next signing day. So we'll see. Josiah, I got a feeling that he's probably going. So who knows? I mean, that's a big gap to fill right there.
And just for the record, Coach said he has not made his.
He has not made up his mind,
right.
But I just feel like that kid's got too much talent that I think he's probably going to be in somebody's NFL camp next fall, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Well, that'll wrap it up. UTSA football will break for the holidays, and they'll be back recruiting, getting these players on campus in middle of January. So be sure to keep it on Inside Runner Sports. For Jerry Briggs, I'm JJ Perez. Thanks for watching.